Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your February 2025 tarot card reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with an oracle card. Cancer, what is it that you need to know for February 2025? We have a win-win outcome is forecast. Now, this is a full moon in Libra card, okay? And it really speaks to you with someone else, okay? So whether it's a relationship, like a romantic one, an employment relationship, a client service provider relationship, whatever the case is, this is a really positive omen that things are likely to start going quite well, not only for you, but also for the other parties involved. And if there are issues and arguments or points of negotiation, this is a time where you're really going to have to stand up for yourself, assert yourself, and make sure that you're not caving on anything to ensure that you get the best possible outcome for you, because that in turn will probably be the best outcome for the other party involved as well. So it does seem like there's kind of a mutual effort with something right now. And those mutual efforts, as long as the two of you have the same goal in mind, will likely pan out well. Okay, now we have the electric eel, spirit, which says, bring your ideas to life. And it does seem like there's, again, a relational element to that. So astrologically, let's just talk about the astrology for a second. Okay, we have Mars officially stationing direct this month, finally, in February, on the 23rd. He's going to be slowing down a lot this month, okay? We also have Venus, which is a partnership planet, coming into Aries on the 4th and going through her pre-shadow phase throughout the entirety of February, the whole month. And of course, Aries is ruled by Mars, so there's a very strong Mars-Venus connection going on right now. Mars being the planet of autonomy and independence and self-reliance, leadership, that type of thing. And then Venus is a lot more partnership oriented. So there has to be some kind of a balance between these two aspects, right? We're not trying to lose ourselves in any way, shape, or form. We want to assert ourselves, and we need the other people involved to also assert themselves so that the partnerships can really work, so that the alliances can thrive. And for the sake of your ideas coming to life, this relationship seems to be essential, okay? And again, usually there's some kind of legal agreement here, or some kind of spoken or commitment, like a spoken commitment. Not always, though, but for many of you, yes. But this is a creative time for Cancer. Clearly, bring your ideas to life. But the relationship is going to be a part of that, and we're going to need to rely on that a little bit. You're still going to need to do your part. They're going to need to do their part, but ultimately, this is going to be more about manifestation. Okay, so let's see what else comes through with the tarot cards. We have the Nine of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Hierophant. The Nine of Swords really could be, you could have stressors in your life. Either there could be some pressure, there could be expectations. Maybe you are struggling a little bit to make a specific type of transition in your life, and maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck, whatever the case. But again, I don't know that this is the time to try to go about doing everything on your own. This is something where you can lean on people, you can rely on people, you can delegate, you can ask, you can seek counsel. Those types of things are going to be highly beneficial for you right now, because this Nine of Swords is not the best place from which to manifest, right? Because we can easily attract other Nine of Swords things. So if we have things going awry, or we have this tension in our lives, it's easier to attract things that will kind of compound on that. So we don't really need that. I'm not saying that there's nothing to be worried about. Maybe there is. Maybe there's financial stuff. Maybe there's family stuff. Maybe there's health stuff, whatever the case is. But but I think the energy is much better directed toward ideas and growth and creativity than it is worry. Okay? You can have valid concerns, that's fine. You can have valid concerns, but I really don't want to see those valid concerns suddenly become obstacles. All right? So the King of Cups, I think he handles the Nine of Swords quite well because he can feel and think and have all this stuff churning on the inside, but he doesn't really let it affect anything. He doesn't let it affect his work ethic. He doesn't let it affect his schedule. He doesn't let it affect his ability to just live his life. Now, I don't see repression or anything like that. So I'm not telling you to ignore the Nine of Swords. It's just that we don't want it to be a reason not to go do what you need to do to bring your ideas to life. All right. I think right now Cancer has to exhibit a great deal of self-respect. And I think this is strong Mars energy, Mars in Cancer, Mars stationing direct in Cancer. And Mars is so powerful, and it's really about what you want, what you think, what you feel. It's a little selfish, kind of a selfish planet. Sometimes we need that. We need to be self-centric sometimes, but there's also an element of a mission with Mars. It's not gimme, 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 gimme. It's I have a purpose. I have something to contribute. I have somewhere to go. And so while it's a little selfish in that you're not letting anything kind of disrupt that process, you're still contributing a great deal to the world. The Hierophant feels authentic, and it feels strong, and it feels like you are connected to something deeper. Because in all honesty, this Nine of Swords is probably a pretty shallow type of energy. All right. It's not this whole deep thing. A lot of these concerns and worries are likely pretty superficial. Like, okay, I don't have the money, or I don't know how I'm going to handle this, or I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I don't know, I don't know. What if this, what if this? It's a lot of projection, which means it doesn't really have a lot of weight. Even if it's a legitimate concern, like finances, I don't even think that it's really that much, that it carries that much weight. Because what carries the most weight is you and your creative essence and your creative power. So I think the real trick here for Cancer is, how do you act in spite of this Nine of Swords and power on and power through and not sacrifice your mission because of these other things that are kind of floating around. Okay. And especially, I think maybe this relationship, whatever this is, I think this is a very important puzzle piece, because this may be the reason why you can't indulge in the Nine of Swords. You can't indulge in negativity. You can't allow yourself to spiral, because there are people that depend on you. They legitimately depend on you. They need you to do what you do best. They need the best of you, all that kind of thing. And I think you take that obligation seriously. And I like the fact that maybe you are obligated. You're obligated to a person or a company or a project or something. You're obligated, and therefore you just have to keep powering on. Now, it does seem, Ace of Wands, that there's something that comes out of this, something quite exciting, something, something wanted. Usually the Ace of Wands, there's a strong passion or a strong desire or a strong spiritual pull that kind of nudges you in a new direction or a new venture or whatever. This is only going to come from your ability to stay honorable, for your ability to stay on point and stay on track and to continue to honor these obligations. But this opportunity is likely opening up for you quite rapidly. And this might be the transition that you're wanting. Say, I'm looking at the Nine of Swords and I'm saying, well, maybe you're trying to get out of something and maybe you do feel stuck. And perhaps there's this tugging of like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't like this anymore. Get me out, get me out, get me out. But yet still you have obligations. I really think you need to continue to fulfill those obligations, because it is the obligations themselves and the finishing and completing of this project that is going to open this Ace of Wands door. Okay? It may happen sooner than you think. It might be February. It might be closer to March. I feel like this is obviously a February reading, but it's a little hard with this particular set of cards to know how long these obligations need to last. Some of you, maybe it's only a couple days. Some of you, it's a few months where we still need to carry all this stuff out. I think that's going to be the main focus for Cancer. But just know that by doing that, that is exactly what opens the door, and that is what enables you to bring your ideas to life. Okay? King of Swords. I like the Kings. You know, I've had a difficult relationship with the Kings this month, but in your reading, they speak quite positively to me, where the King of Swords feels... There does seem to be an element of detachment here with the King of Swords, which we need a little bit of detachment when we're dealing with something like the Nine of Swords, because, again, if we're not detached or self-aware or transcended enough, we can get lost in this so easily and we can indulge, right? That's the trick. We don't want to indulge in that Nine of Swords. We want to acknowledge it and understand what's going on and understand the concerns that are coming up for us, but realizing that this is a survival, like a knee-jerk reaction. But there are other things that are bigger and more important. And I really think we have to be in that bigger picture mindset right now, Cancer. Because if we're not, we will get swallowed up, right? So the King of Swords is the awareness of the Nine of Swords. The King of Swords is the one that is capable of like witnessing what's happening with the Nine of Swords. And conquering, and when I say conquer, I just basically mean being unaffected. Being unaffected by the Nine of Swords. Both kings highly unaffected by the Nine of Swords in spite of its presence. Because here, and I like the Nine of Cups in complete contrast, complete and utter opposition with the Nine of Swords, we have the Nine of Cups, which is all about wishes coming true and things working out and you getting exactly what you want and being happy and having joy and pride in what you've done. And I do think the element of pride is important, especially with Mars in your sign, which he'll continue to stay in your sign even on through March. So we want pride in our work. We want pride in the job that we have done. We don't want to whimper out. We don't want to prematurely exit. We want to finish everything that needs to be finished in order for this Ace of Wands to really thrive. Right now, I think we're in a space where we need to create a lot of room. All right. And by closing everything out, as we're closing out the astrological year through February and March, which is Aquarius and Pisces seasons, as we're closing out the astrological year, we do so and create all of this open void so that the new things have room to come in and manifest. We need to understand that this is a part of creation, that closure and crossing the finish line and finishing things is just as much a part of creation as initiating, as the doing. Okay? It's just as much. It's like a 3-part cycle. We initiate, we do, we finish. Okay? And I do see positivity here with the Nine of Cups saying, look, Cancer, this is going to work out in your favor. A win-win outcome is forecast. Everyone is supposed to win here. Everybody. Everyone is supposed to benefit. Everyone is supposed to profit. Everyone is supposed to turn up higher and better than they were before the month began. So we don't want to despair. Let's see. Now, Pisces season comes in on February 18th. Let me make sure I have the date right. Yes, Sun in Pisces on the 18th. Sorry, I have to make little notes. Otherwise, I can never remember all the exact dates. So, February 18th, the Sun comes into Pisces, and it is a bit of a game changer. Okay, there is a stark contrast between Aquarius and Pisces. And once we hit Pisces, we tend to have a little bit more hope, a little bit more belief, right? That's the nature of Pisces. It is ruled by Jupiter, also Neptune. And we tend to have more idealistic viewpoints of everything. And we tend to kind of crawl out of our kind of hopeless Nine of Swords place and start to say, okay, I was maybe overreacting a little bit and it's fine. It's all going to be okay. We have faith. We have trust. We're willing to do whatever it takes, that kind of thing. See, the thing with Capricorn and Aquarius seasons, if we look at it from like a Northern Hemisphere perspective in terms of the actual seasons, the winter months, January and February, both ruled by Saturn, the coldest months of the year, right? These are cold seasons. Saturn, the question is it ruled by Saturn because it's cold, or is it cold because it's ruled by Saturn, right? Kind of goes back and forth. It's just a cold time. Okay, so we tend to go through hardships. We tend to, I'm not saying everything is like the worst in the world. Obviously, I'm being a little hyperbolic here. But, I'm just looking at the Nine of Swords. It just seems to kind of compress, and we tend to have, greater obstacles, or, time seems to never end during this time. It feels like things are kind of dragging, or sometimes it feels like we're kind of just waiting for something to change. We're waiting for some kind of turnover. Very common for this time of year. And Pisces season is when we start to feel the warmth come back to a degree, okay? Metaphorically, obviously. So that's the Knight of Cups, and it starts, okay, we start to feel the upswing a little bit, and this coincides beautifully with Mars stationing direct. We start to feel like things are finally moving forward. And I don't want to forget, I forgot to mention, so I don't want to forget to do this. Jupiter is also stationing direct as well in Gemini, in your 12th house. So we have that as well. So Jupiter on the 4th, Mars on the 23rd. So throughout the whole of February, we are going to feel this kind of lurching forward energy, a type of, Jupiter and Mars are highly masculine planets, and we like that. And I'm seeing lots of masculinity here with the kings. We like the masculine energy a lot because this is how things get done. This is how things get built. This is how things are created, is the masculine energy. And we get to really tap into that this month. And we get to see the effect of the masculine energy. And as we do, more and more hope starts to build. Now, Pisces season will also call for some type of loss or sacrifice. And I think that kind of has already happened with North Node coming into Pisces on the 11th of January last month, because it immediately came to this conjunction with Neptune, which I had mentioned was very much about faith and hope and trust and surrender and loss and letting go and all that kind of Piscean stuff. And that's going to continue on through February because they're still technically conjunct, okay? Plus, we also have that Venus retrograde looming at this time still. So there is going to be a call for release, a call for forgiveness, a call for whatever. And yes, it might feel a little bit sad. And I think this kind of goes hand in hand with the Nine of Swords too. It may feel a little bit sad, it may feel like there's loss, it may feel like there's, grief or sorrow. And it's okay to mourn things that didn't work out or things that had to pass you by. But keep in mind that this is exactly what was needed. We needed to knock those 3 cups over, right? These 3 cups here, we needed to knock those over so that we could then have space for what the Two of Cups has to bring for us, okay? And it's funny that the Two of Cups are still standing, and in this particular deck, the Two of Cups has the card, the Two of Cups, has 2 people in it. And we're talking about relationships here with a win-win outcome is forecast. So like in order for the relationships to work out, this is an essential. Okay, but I think you also acknowledge and understand the necessity of the Five of Cups and the release and the letting go of something, even though it's maybe not what you ultimately want. I think you understand it. And Four of Swords, it tells me that you actually are quite peaceful about it, that you have peace of mind about it. And while maybe this is you kind of fighting the inevitable, I think ultimately you will be in full acceptance of what needed to be let go of. Okay? All right, Cancer, let's go ahead and get started with the comprehensive clarifiers. Okay, so I'm going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes in the comprehensive reading. If you want to join me for that, you are more than welcome. The link will be in the description box in the pinned comment thread down below. We typically pull out about 27 cards, 3 cards per card here. So we get really deep. We really open up these cards and kind of see what else we need to know. So again, if you want to join, all the links are in the description box and the pinned comment thread down below. All right, let's see what comes through for the Nine of Swords for Cancer. What is it that we need to know here? Okay, Ten of Wands, Temperance, and Judgment. And then we also got the Hanged Man, Nine of Coins, Ten of Cups, beautiful. Love that Ten of Cups. Ooh, I love the High Priestess Hierophant connection. Strength, Two of Wands. There, oh, I love that Magician, Ace of Wands. Things really seem to be aligning in this reading. The Star, the Hermit, Page of Wands, Knight of Swords, Six of Wands, Justice, Five of Wands, Death. Death and Five of Cups definitely go hand in hand. Oh, whoops, hold on. Let me take the ones that I saw, which was this one and this one. One more for the Four of Swords. What does Cancer need to know? And the Lovers. Beautiful. All right. Love this. All right, Cancer, this is where we are going to pick up. So if you want to join me, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.